Good morning and welcome to episode 1743 of Hard Factor. It is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. Thank you for cheating on the news with us. 80-ish% accuracy guaranteed on this podcast. Patreon.com/Hard Factor if you need more Hard Factor. Today, Mark's up first. Mark, what do you got?
You guys are going to lose your minds when you hear my stories, or someone is. Heads will roll.
Oh,
Let's just say the Queen of Hearts would be all ears.
right. That makes
Right?
sense.
Let's just say it rhymes with decaffeinated. And it's just as bad.
Rose is red.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. You get it. You get it.
I hate that
Mark-
word. I hate decapitated so much.
Mark
Yeah.
just got decaffeinated by his camera. It
Oh,
decaffeinated him is right when he said that.
off
Because
with cam.
feed cut off of this cam.
Beautiful.
That's crazy. That might happen to me too, because apparently there's like a giant fire in my neighborhood. I can't see it. I saw the smoke, but
Oh,
apparently
you shouldn't
the
be
fire-
outside making sure it's not going to burn your house down.
I'm gonna have to run out there right after we're done taping to make sure that I'm not about to die. But or I could go up in flames right here. You don't know. We'll see what happens. Or
That'd be
camera
crazy.
You could cut. Yeah, that would be nuts, right? I do it for the views, just so you guys know. I do it for the views. If it happens, it happens. I mean, I'm not. There's no control. It could happen at any moment right now. But that's aside from what I'm going to tell you about is some major headlines that Mark's having a real tough time with.
You see how creepy he looked when he came back on Frozen?
1 second.
And
You know, my problem is my dog's sitting on the wire.
Oh,
that might be it.
do it.
The old dog on the wire. No, I'm going to tell you about some headlines on deck that you just probably need to know about. Big ones. And they're going to affect Wednesday today. They're going to affect your day. You're going to see more about them. And that's what we'll talk about. Wes, you're in the hole. What do you got?
Going back to one of our favorite topics, the lottery. This is a real heartbreaker for thousands of people in one unfortunate country. You got to stay tuned. It might be the worst lottery story I've ever heard.
They're on a bad streak.
Most of them are bad. Everyone's bad. In fact,
We've
Well.
covered some bad ones.
Some of them
bad
are
ones.
fun. Some of them are fun, like when somebody burns all the money out right away and they just go on like a,
Yeah.
that's fun to talk about, even though they're poor again.
Well, this is
It's
going to be
still
fun
fun.
to talk about, but it's a heartbreak for thousands.
Yeah, I bet. Wow, it's been a lot of heartbreak with those lottery stories recently. And Pat, you're in the caboose. What do you got?
more bad news from Idaho.
Oh, really? Idaho.
Yeah,
They don't need any more of that.
if you're a big Love fan or you watch that creepy documentary about the FLDS polygamy cult that's out there, they were in Utah for a while, and I think they went to Texas. You want to listen up because some teens are missing, and it's not good.
Missing teens.
It's about as good as a lottery story. The
Big love. R.I.P. to Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton. I can never remember which one's which.
Paxton.
Twister.
Fun fact about Bill Paxton, he started as an art department intern on a Roger Corman movie where he met James Cameron, and they were buds ever since.
Good guy to
Wow,
meet.
Pretty fortunate. Yeah. Right time, right place kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Well, nice. Mark. I mean, unless there's anything else. You guys got anything else? Yeah.
Just that Kate always starts the washing machine right before our show, and it's right outside my office.
I
We
can never
can't
hear it.
We can't
Okay,
hear
good.
it.
I mean, your
That's
microphone
torturous
is
to you.
fantastic. Yeah.
Good.
Why don't
I
we
get
get
it.
Do you hear?
Yeah,
Is there like
yeah.
one piece of change or like one, zipper that's just
Battery.
hitting you? It's getting you every time, every rotation.
Why don't we just get a head start with my
Okay, let's
stories?
jump right into that news.
First up, Mexican cartels are playing the hits again.
Oh,
Play
yeah.
Ya Ya Ding Dong. Anyone? That's a deep cut from a Eurovision Will Ferrell, the movie fans. out
Bad
there.
movie.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong about this one, Pat.
Watched it twice. Terrible. I think they're making a sequel. Can't believe it.
Oh, it's so good. It's so underrated.
It's unbelievable.
So bad,
they're
I
making a
watched it
sequel.
twice.
Yeah, exactly. Play Ya Ya Ding Dong.
It was a Ferrell movie. It was COVID.
Oof. No, I've watched it once and did not make it to the end.
I
wait,
once a year. sometimes twice a year. Apparently, the Los Chapitos and La Mayiza cartels are warring in the Mexican state of Sinaloa. Used to be Sinaloa cartel too. I don't know what happened to them, but two different cartels warring this time.
I feel like they just change their name all the time. They rebrand, I think.
You might be right.
Yeah, but Sinaloa is the area, so it's hard to be like.
Yeah, but there was a Sinaloa cartel.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So,
They're trying to be like we're different now, or they all got killed.
It's like that pet store that rebranded.
They're all the
what was it?
Cartel, right? Like, how many different versions of cartel are inside Mexican cartel?
Oh, a lot, bro. Apparently, there's no leaders of the cartel right now. Apparently, it's all kind of, I don't know, it's like factioned out since El Chapo got.
But all together, they make up the cartel that is the Mexican cartel.
Correct.
Yeah, but there used to be like two the Mexican cartels. Now there's like 12. I don't know. But these two.
But at the end of the day, they're all selling drugs. They may kill each other,
right?
But they're in the same. I mean, it's the same.
On the same line of work.
Yeah,
it's not like the NFL though, with like too many teams. But these guys are warring, which is why it was no surprise that 20 dead bodies were found in a van and on and near a bridge this weekend. It was a bit of a surprise that 4 of the bodies were hanging upside down via rope from the bridge and were headless, just 4.5 feet and 5 feet of man, no head. That was a bit discomforting.
When you're dealing with a bridge, you have clearance things to consider about. Yeah, you want to send a message, but you also don't want to inconvenience people that need to get under that bridge.
Well, 16 of them, they had room for the heads. Maybe the other 4 were just really tall.
Well, 15.
Is it raining? Oh, that's just blood from the headless man hanging from the bridge.
Yeah, you can imagine going under that bridge. You're close. Well, 15 of them had their heads, because I'll tell you in a second. All 20 men were killed by gunshot, and of the 15 not hanging headless men from the bridge, 14 had heads and 1 did not. Those 15 were all found piled on top of each other in a van, 14 with heads, 1 without, the van was like a couple blocks away from the bridge, didn't go too far, and the van had references of both of those, the cartels that I talked about, plastered all over it. And then a plastic bag containing 5 human heads was found close to the bridge. So that makes sense.
Some of this math ain't mathin'.
No, so 4 headless guys hanging from the bridge.
4 headless on the bridge.
Sing it
headless
to me
in the truck.
like
That's 4 heads. How many heads when you got 4 headless men from a bridge, Pat? How many heads are missing?
It's 4. You're missing 4 heads.
Okay, and now there's 15 other dead guys, only 1 of which is missing a head.
There it is.
Okay, so you got 5 heads floating around.
Now you got 5 heads in a bag.
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't realize one of the guys in the truck was also headless. That's crazy.
How could you have? Well, I guess they ran out of rope.
He's probably too fat.
Right.
They got tired hanging 4 guys.
Yeah.
Just
all the heavy guys were in the truck.
Okay, you fucking pack the van then.
But the Queen of Hearts approves of this story big time.
Yeah, but that's cartel on cartel, like you were saying, right? It's like one cartel took out the other. And
it was all men
plastered
probably
it
involved
all
in the
over
cartel. Yeah, no women, no children.
What a crazy country, huh? Jesus Christ.
I mean,
can you imagine if 4 headless dudes
we have graffiti on our bridge.
showed up on the Brooklyn Bridge?
I think we used to probably have shit like that, like back in the day, back in like the like
civilized.
No, bro, the
gangs
St.
in
Valentine's Day massacre pretty much caused prohibition. Like one massacre created a constitutional amendment.
Yeah.
We would freak
out.
out.
So
we would freak out if there were 4 guys taking for a bitch. It would be big news.
That would go outside ever again.
Really.
maybe
by the way, I don't even think
we
YouTube
quit
will
snorting so much cocaine. It's our fault, really. If we quit snorting all that cocaine.
We are a big customer. I don't even think, by the way, YouTube will let me show you the bridge image, even with blurred heads, that some of the publications are putting out, because it's as graphic as it gets. It's like, oh, you blurred out the head. Nice. It's just a stump. Anyways, next up, any of you guys fans of the old hit reality show Beauty and the Geek?
I've seen it.
Hold up, real quick before we move on to Beauty and the Geek. Frankie Linden says, as a Colombian, Mexicans have ruined all goodwill with the public. He's saying with the cartel, I guess.
Well, the bridge thing is
as a
tough.
Colombian. Okay, that's South America. Mexicans, that's North America, have ruined all.
People confuse them, I'm sure, in America all the time.
I think what he's saying is it's
Brown
fucking
people.
crazy to hang guys from bridges that are headless. I think that's what
that's probably.
We can all agree on that.
I think that's what he was saying.
Let's do some cocaine to that.
I think that Colombia is certainly, I mean, Americans, you say Colombia, what's the first thing you think of? Probably drugs, right?
Cocaine.
Yeah, cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, but the cartel is definitely taking it to the next level with the violence these days. But back in the day, didn't Colombia have, that was like
Escobar, yeah.
Escobar.
Yeah,
They did some
it's because
stuff.
it's the northernmost South American country. So it's like, because once you get into South America, that's where the laws really fall off. So it's like, if you're gonna do coke, be as close to America as you can be while still being in South America.
So what he's
I think
saying is
that's-
people on either side of Mexico are concerned about the bridge thing.
And now everybody's going to Costa Rica and doing Tusi.
Remember Colombia, I believe it was Colombia, they played like the U.S. in the World Cup in like 92, 96, maybe back in the day with like Alexi Lamas when he had the stupid long hair. And I believe we beat a 1-0 or they lost 1-0 to someone and the guy on Colombia scored an own goal. They shot him. They killed him.
Oh yeah. They also had Valderrama with the crazy hair.
Yeah, they did.
That was great.
Beauty and the Geek.
Yeah, so Beauty and the Geek. So Wes has seen it. I saw season 1.
Which
Anyone
one
else?
was that? Is this VH1?
I think it must have been.
It was, then it got to TBS. So it lasted 5 seasons between 2005 and 2008. It had spin-offs and was revived by TBS in 2021. So it didn't need your support, Pat and Will. That's a pretty good run for a show with the description: the geeks help beauties prepare to compete in challenges of intellect, and the beauties prepare the geeks to compete in challenges involving social skills.
Okay.
Yeah, it was great.
So
Good show.
So they're on a team or they're trying to fuck each other.
It's
Does
been
it ever happen that way?
20 years since I saw season 1, but I believe you got partnered up. Yes, a beauty and a geek, and then you got like a team score, and the beauty people would have to answer like just very basic knowledge questions. And the
But
guys
did they
would-
ever end up together? The Beauty and the Geek.
Yeah, I think they hooked up once or twice, didn't they?
I don't think so. No,
Because some of the geeks weren't they like successful? Like a couple of them, they were like engineers.
there were definitely some successful geeks. Then also
Yeah.
some of the geeks got like made over to be not
Right.
so geeky.
They
I
never.
mean, we
hooked
gotta
up
watch
with
this
the Beauty.
show. It
Yeah.
sounds like a great concept.
Yeah, it's not bad. I did catch most of season 1, like I mentioned, the US, but I did not see the Beauty and the Geek Australia spinoff or season 2 of Beauty and the Geek Australia, where runner-up Tamika Chesser shined in 2010.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that
She
that
shined.
was great.
Don't see a lot of white girls named Tamika.
Well,
True.
It's Australia. Tamika.
Nah, still.
Just saying, mate.
Hey, mate.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's still. You're not going to hear too many Tamikas in Australia, I don't think.
yeah. Talaki Tamika. Chesser from Australia parlayed that runner-up showing years later into an OnlyFans account.
Yeah, she should
Well,
have. Look at her.
Yeah.
She was a little early because this show came out in 2005. When was
10.
her season?
The spinoff was 2010 for Australia.
Yeah,
Season
still
2.
So she
early
got
as
into OnlyFans.
Well, that's what I'm
like-
saying, Pat. It was years after her shine from runner-up, and so she, put that in her OnlyFans bio.
No, I'm just saying it was a tough period for reality stars
Yeah.
between like 2010 and 2019. That was 9 years where you couldn't monetize your tits. You're
True.
just sitting there having like Wes. He was on a
Yeah.
reality show. That's it.
That's it. Don't
Yeah.
get recognized anymore.
Did he get runner-up though?
What a shame.
No.
Second place. By the way, Fatties and Baddies, the Dickhead
Everyone
Live
lost.
comment would do numbers.
Yeah.
So she also recently lived with her boyfriend. Last name of Story. Long story short, they no longer live together because she allegedly killed him and cut off his head. Here he is pictured with head.
Oh.
Okay.
That's an old
yeah,
pick.
Yeah.
That's,
So the good thing is
sad.
the dog who he loves probably died of natural causes before he got his head chopped off.
Yeah, that dog's
Yeah.
old in that picture. So that's So
Yeah, he didn't have to see it.
dog's,
Wasn't lapping
good.
up the blood.
Yeah.
That is so. She just beheaded him out of the blue. What did she do? How did she do it?
Yeah.
Did
So
you good?
well, she's crazy, but after allegedly
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably the
crazy
case.
hot. After responding to reports of a small fire on June 19th, the local Australian police entered the home, and they said they saw a discomforting scene. It was Julian's story, and Julian was there lying dismembered and headless, and there's a small fire.
So how'd she kill
What
him?
happens? Yeah.
They don't know. They think he died 2 days before the fire, and she just set the fire because she was like sick of his body being there. She didn't know what
Well,
to
she
do
must
with it.
she must
smell.
have killed him and then beheaded
She-
him because he looked like a strapping young man. Probably wouldn't have been
Yeah.
able to be overpowered by Tamika.
I think you need a samurai sword to behead someone.
I mean,
as a kill.
Instantaneously. Yeah.
well, but if you had some type of mechanized blade,
I'm saying I think she shot him and then beheaded him.
It's pretty easy to cut someone's head off when it's always in your crotch.
Where you're sleeping, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, you think she guitoned him? She set up a little guillotine.
She might have.
Go
Little
down
piano
on me
wire?
through this guillotine.
Come to mommy.
Oh.
I don't know how
just
she did it, but she did it. And I guess they're saying that they haven't found the head yet, and they're really trying to find that for the
squirreled the
family.
head away.
She
Okay.
hid the head somewhere. Darren Fielk, the superintendent of detective superintendent over there, said that that's like kind of the priority is recovering Julian's head to return it to his family so they can have a
That makes
peaceful
sense.
outcome.
Where's the head, Tamika?
Yeah, and also
She won't
apparently
give it up. Like, what's her deal?
Oh
Like,
no!
Where is
She
it,
just
Tamika?
catatonic or something? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. Well, they also said that Phil said that the boys and I watched all the OnlyFans and the head never made an appearance.
Right. She's been posting like crazy too.
He also wants the public's health. Apparently, she's a nutbag that the community knew. He said, "We know that Tamika did not drive a vehicle and regularly walks around the township of Port Lincoln. We're appealing to anyone who can help us to identify Tamika's movements to please contact police." So they're reviewing CCTV footage between June 17th and June 19th of her just. Is there any thoughts walking around with a head in the neighborhood?
Right.
Yeah, she's going bowling there. I got
Yeah. So they're looking
She's a public crazy person, kind of like the Idaho dude yesterday.
Yeah.
Just like a total crazy nut
bad.
job. Everybody they knew everybody was saying like, one day, mate, Tamika, she's gonna lose it. And then-
Oh, but she's hot, mate. Oh,
Yeah.
but she's so hot.
I'd
No.
I'd let her behead me, mate.
Yeah, exactly. Just still got suitors.
Luck of the draw, mate. Could have been any of us.
I don't need a head if I'm with her. Anyways,
Somebody's definitely said that in this town.
who needs a head? Yeah, they're looking for the head. They think she did it. They're pretty convinced she's in jail. But anyways, let's talk about some business here because
Okay.
we all have heads, all right? And if you have your head about you, you don't want to get scammed. You don't want to have your stuff out there on the internet, right?
Right.
So if you've ever searched for your name or address in Google, you're going to be shocked to find out how many results have your personal information, and it's not by chance. Data brokers and people search sites, collect your personal info, your name, address, phone number, financial info, incomes, and hundreds of other records they sell and share it publicly without your consent. But good news, Incogni is here to help put an end to that.
Good.
So it's pretty good benefits. Like, I don't know, Incogni hunts down these unethical sites, gets your info removed from the places that expose your private information. And that's pretty good. But they'll do it consistently because those jerk websites will keep getting your information and selling it. And so Incogni says, no. We're going to keep repeating this process and we're going to keep removing your data to protect you. You don't have to email anyone, fill out forms, or jump through hoops. They handle the entire process for you. Incogni is pretty sweet. And best of all, you can cancel Incogni anytime, and they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee so you can get it completely risk-free. So unless you like having your information, I'd like to point out that right now you can get 60% off an annual plan by going to incogni.com. Yeah, well, whoa is right.
60.
And using code HARDFACTOR, 60% off. That's incogni.com/hardfactor. Hardfactor, and use code HARDFACTOR at checkout.
Do it. Yeah, Incogni is the best. Get your data out of there. You know what else is the best? Lucy. Okay. You ever needed a little focus in your day? Need a little relaxation? Lucy is made for your nicotine routine and delivered straight to your door. Okay. It's 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. You could choose from pouches. That's me. Pouches, Mango 12 for me. You can get breakers. You can get gum. You can choose your strength. They're all the way from 2 to 12 milligrams per piece. Nobody else does that. Nobody has that kind of versatility except for Lucy. It's the best. We're all Lucy guys on this podcast. You know it. You've heard it. They're big supporters of the pod. What we do, save ourselves from the weekly gas station stop, potential flavor outages all over the place like they are at the gas stations, and sign up for a monthly subscription for Lucy. Save 15% off, no commitment, cancel anytime. It's the best. Guys, what's your favorite? I'm Mango 12s. What are you guys on?
Breakers 8 mint, baby.
I've been on a mint 12 kick, but yeah,
There you
all
go.
good.
Berry Citrus 4.
Zoned in. I love it. They're all great. All of Lucy's offerings are the best. So let's level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/hard factor and use promo code hard factor to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's lucy.co, lucy.co, and use code hard factor to get 20% off and always free shipping. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. So there you have it. But Lucy is great. And it's a lot more fun than the stuff we're about to talk about. Okay, so here's some stuff, some headlines. I mean, it's not necessarily not fun, but there wasn't a ton of big news today. And these are some kind of big things that happened. So you should probably know about it. It might come up today on this Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. Because first, let's get the real boring stuff out of the way first. The budget bill. You ever heard of it? AKA the One Big Beautiful Bill Act from Trump.
Is it possible he was talking about a huge guy with big shoulders named Bill?
It's very possible. That's what he was thinking.
Bill Bradsky.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's the Bill Bradsky bill, aka whatever it's called now, after Chuck Schumer last second to get it passed through the Senate demanded the name be changed thanks to the Byrd Act. So I have no idea what it's called now, but it's One Big Beautiful Bill, and then TBD, whatever it's going to be called. Anyways, it passed the Senate, 51 to 50 votes on Tuesday. Heads to the House to vote today, Wednesday. And Trump, he's trying to sign this thing by the 4th of July. It's been his whole thing all along. He's like, give me the bill by the 4th of July, and then there's going to be hell to pay. I'd imagine he'll have a big tantrum if he doesn't get the sign on the 4th of July. There. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, I mean, he might get it by the 4th of July. It will pass at some point, according to Kalshi odds, if you pay attention to that kind of thing, which I know all of us do. So like, it'll pass eventually, right? But who knows if it's going to be 4th of July or not. The House, who knows? The House could like, cause some problems and it goes back, but eventually some version of the budget will get passed. Pretty much what happens once it does get passed, if it's today or some other time, everyone gets a tax break basically on federal and state and local tax deductions. So you get a federal tax break, which is extended from the original Trump cuts. You also get more state and local tax deductions. They call that SALT deductions. But it does cut down on public welfare programs, aside from the child tax credit and maybe a few others that got saved. The biggest spending cut is
because tax breaks are sweet.
Yeah, tax breaks are sweet.
Don't name those programs, please.
What's that? The ones that are
the welfare programs that are going to be fucked. Don't name them.
The
please.
Biggest spending cut, and I got to because it's part of the news. The biggest spending cut.
That was a delayed reaction for me. I'm not pumped about the welfare programs getting cut.
Right. It's not as sweet as the tax cut part. The tax cut part, everybody's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Right. But then people who are on Medicaid who may not qualify anymore are like, maybe not as fuck yeah. The biggest spending cut is $1 trillion to Medicaid, and work requirements are being added to many public assistance welfare programs affecting funding like SNAP or food stamps and Medicaid as well, adding those work requirements for people who aren't who qualify to have a job to keep the benefits. But even with the cuts, it's projected to increase. Even with the spending cuts, it's still projected the One Big Beautiful Bill to increase the national debt, and it includes provisions inside of it for $5 trillion more in national debt, which would put us at just over $42 trillion total national debt. Today we're at 37, so 5 more. That would put you at 42 trillion. So
the national debt's an AI problem. Will
exactly. What's 5?
Maybe that's
an AI problem.
let's just try to make people understand what that means. That's
Okay.
12 trillion more than our annual GDP. So imagine your annual salary, yourself. Imagine your annual salary, add 40%, exactly 40% to that, and that's our collective credit card debt bill from the
Why
Fed
don't they just pay us more than the national debt?
that the taxpayers technically owe the Fed because it's our money and we're on the hook, not the people
Why don't
who
we
spend
just
the
get
money.
higher GDP?
We really should because we're 12 trillion behind our debt. That's
Aren't the
tough,
tariffs going to take care of all this, though,
more in debt
Will?
than
Isn't
your
that the whole
annual.
point of the tariffs?
No, they won't take care of all of it. No, they won't actually. They'll maybe help with it. I have seen that maybe they will help with it. I have seen that maybe they're doing better than people thought they would, but maybe they'll help, but they're not
What are
going
they
to
going to do?
care
Will
of
lock us
42
all up and make
trillion.
us do dishes till we pay off our bill at the restaurant? What are they going to do?
If everything collapses, you'd just lose everything. They would seize everybody's assets.
Who?
Yeah.
The Chinese?
The Fed.
A couple things to add. If you're on the health marketplace, the ACA marketplace, Obamacare, your bill's going up big time.
That's why it doesn't count as a cut for people who are on public assistance. They technically get a tax cut,
Workaround,
but
don't have health insurance.
because of the public assistance they lose, they end up spending more.
A couple other things. There's $40 million in there for a garden of MAGA heroes that we built, and it absolutely
Where's that
pummels.
going? Where's the
Yeah,
Where's the
let's
garden?
go.
I don't know where the garden's going, but it's happening. It absolutely pummels
is the
renewable energy. It
it a
taxes
maze
the
garden?
shit out of renewable
Well,
energy.
To be fair to that, we've just Toyota has been shitting all. I mean, Toyota did they work for Trump? Because if they do, that was effective. The way they destroyed
Yeah, the oil and
EVs.
gas lobby went down to Mar-a-Lago, and they were like, "Hey, let's get this renewable energy bullshit out of there." And that's
I mean,
And he was
Toyota.
like, you just earned your spot in the MAGA garden.
Toyota fucking destroyed electric vehicles this year. Them and Trump just took them to town, took them to task. It was double T grip. And
cutting assistance for the poorest, but we're gonna have a $40 million garden of heroes.
where's that going? Is Q Shaman in there? That's the only guy I would
let's
like to
see.
see in the
But
garden.
if it's a maze garden, worth it. I love
and the
maze
guy
gardens.
holding the podium, Q Shaman, and then the guy holding the podium. But the guy holding the podium has to be like hidden. He's like a fun.
No
he's like
chance
an
any
Easter egg.
trans are in that
It's
garden.
gonna open 2026.
No, they're not allowed to
go. Let's see. There's a list of individuals provided in Executive Order 1378, and all statues must be life-size, made of marble, granite, bronze, copper, or brass.
Well, yeah.
And applicants are asked to select 10 to 20 figures from those
Shaman.
listed in the executive order.
Q Shaman.
Can you
podium
write in?
guy. That's it. Q
No,
Shaman,
it ha-
podium
the-
guy.
Can you
It
write
has
in
to
all
be-
trans folk?
all trans cats.
That'd be hilarious if we got
It's
hijacked.
like when a college tries to get a new mascot, and it's always like the Star Wars.
It's
idiot.
something Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, no, it's a pretty. I mean, Johnny Cash is on that list. Johnny
Johnny
Appleseed,
Cash?
Ray Charles,
Dude,
Julia
okay,
Child.
I'm not hating on the
Sounds
Johnny
like
Cash
a good garden. Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
Johnny Cash garden's okay. That's
Okay.
As long as Cash makes it. And Ray
Yeah,
Charles.
Bob Hope, you can vote for Bob Hope. Steve Jobs, you can put Steve Jobs in there if you
Oh, I
want.
don't know about
They
that.
put
What's
Ray
he gonna be
Charles
doing?
facing
Like
the wrong direction.
meditating? I mean,
he's
Jobs did a
walking
lot.
into the fucking wall.
Yeah, he's talking to the bush. So yeah. Anyways, that's in there. Taking it to the internet real quick though, for the funniest part. Here's Ted Cruz being a hypocritical asshole again, like he always is. This is back in 2023, April 28th. Ted Cruz tweeted, "In 22 years, our national debt went from 5 trillion to 32 trillion. What is happening to the next generation is irresponsible." And then on July 1st, 2025, Ted Cruz says, he tweets, "It was bumpy, but we got it done. The one big beautiful bill has passed the Senate." And so
Right.
he's adding 10 trillion more to the national debt than he complained about 2 years ago.
They're going to immediately borrow $4 trillion, and the reason they're raising the tax limit or the debt limit to $5 trillion is because they're going to add $5 trillion.
And Doge is pretty
Yeah, I
much
think
done
it's
after
4
finding.
projected, but yeah.
No,
Doge is
there's
pretty much
100.
done after finding a couple $100 billion, right?
There's $100 million in this bill for chasing down waste, fraud, and abuse.
Doge doesn't offset any of this. I mean,
they're also
eventually
pretty
having
much done,
Doge
right?
may help to balance your shit. Anyways, it's just it's going to add to the debt goes up. So Ted
The
Cruz,
insurance goes down, the debt goes up.
Ted Cruz, bro, don't be complaining about that debt when you add 10 trillion more than you just complained about. That's
What's
fucked
the?
up.
Let's get back to the important. What's the tax percentage break?
The more you make, the bigger break it is.
$4.5 million or more is the highest per capita break.
The highest
more you make,
percentage break.
The
That's
bigger break it
they
is.
get the highest the highest percentage break if you're over 4.5.
Yeah.
If you make $15,000, your taxes
Sweet.
go up.
So, well,
Yeah, I think technically
kind of a kick in
because
the
of
butt, you know, like get
the
out there and
programs
do
you're
better.
losing. Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yeah, pull yourself up. You're really slacking
great.
out there.
It's insane to think somebody makes 15 grand, but yeah, that's like, I guess somebody's like part-time doing something. Anyways, on to Diddy. He's been, the jury has announced on Tuesday that they found him guilty on all but one charge, the RICO charge. And that's actually good news for the prosecution. Who we
Wait,
thought
did they
was
say
gonna get-
guilty or they haven't released any of the verdicts, have they?
They're hung on RICO.
I thought
They're hung on-
they've come to a verdict, but the verdicts have not come out yet. They just
reportedly been found guilty.
Oh.
They haven't come out yet, but
They
apparently
got a
it's
leak in the
guilty
jury.
on 2 through 5.
yeah,
That's what
they-
people are.
If the judge hasn't read them, then we shouldn't know that.
Well, they know that they're not going to vote him on RICO, or at least they can't come to a verdict on RICO. That's the bad one. That's the life one. RICO's.
Well, the other one's 15 years minimum too.
As long
up
as
to
they
life.
reach a decision on the RICO charge,
RICO
the
is
judge
mandatory.
sent them
life.
back. Yeah, they send them back to find a decision on the RICO charge, even if it's not guilty, as long as there's, like
As of
then he'll
6:27
be guilty of the other
p.m.,
one.
which is like right now, like 10 minutes ago, they said that what Wes is saying. They've reached a decision on everything but RICO, but haven't announced it.
Yeah, they haven't announced any verdicts. They're just that's all speculation.
Twitter thinks he's guilty of 2 through 5.
Well, sure.
Well, he could also be not guilty of 2 through 5.
True. Very true. We'll find out more hopefully today, Wednesday.
Who does that? Who says we've reached a verdict on 4 of the 5 charges, but we're not going to tell you? Who does that?
Well, they got to tell. They have to go tell the judge.
The judge.
Yeah,
Or the foreperson. Let's go tell the judge, and then the judge makes
says,
the decision.
the judge knows.
Go back in your hole.
Yeah, the judge
the
and the
judge
jury
will
are the only
believe
people that know right now.
Don't come out till you have a verdict.
Oh, and the jurors, wives and
That's what I
husbands,
said.
and the judges.
Well, no, because they're sequestered in there now. If they go home tonight, they'll all know.
You think they can't get on a cell phone in that jury? Honey, he's
No,
guilty.
No cell phones allowed in there.
No cell phones allowed.
You don't think they're
Maybe that's
sneaking
just
in
wish-
cell
They're not
phones
allowed to
in
read. They're not
social
supposed to read
media.
newspapers, let alone have a cell phone.
Yeah.
there? Oh, you get your hands on some newspapers, no problem.
Oh, I'd be reading the newspaper. I know that.
You had to
All
go to the
day.
bathroom on because there's no bathrooms.
What are the odds on Cauchy? Can someone look that? I can look it up. What the guilty versus non-guilty?
I'm on.
Innocent.
I'm on it.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Will, do you have any other stories that we need to know, or are we
No,
moving
that's
on?
it. That's
Okay,
it. Those
thank
are the
you.
ones.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that tax break. I'll tell you that. This one's fucked up. Even probably more fucked up than the beheadings that Mark covered, in my opinion. Remember back in 2018 when Hawaiians got this alert on their phones?
Yep.
It says emergency alert: ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill. Okay.
Yes, but it was actually a drill that fucked up.
Yeah, it was a fuck up. But for almost 40 minutes, every Hawaiian thought that they were going to be blown to smithereens, and it caused a lot of panic. Again, like Will says, they said that they eventually were like, "Whoops, we fucked up. Sorry, our bad." And
Think that caused any pregnancies?
Dude, This American Life did a story on it where this guy reached out to his ex-girlfriend who
Yeah.
he'd been out of touch forever.
Yeah.
He's like,
That's what I'm
let's
saying.
party.
lots of life decisions happen in that 40 minutes.
I mean, you're not pulling out if you have 40 minutes to live, right?
No, you're
If
not.
you
think there's
happen
any
to be
ballistic-
lucky enough to be in someone and checking your texts.
Right.
Well, there's plenty of people that are in relationships that might not be ready to have a kid, and if you got 40 minutes left to live, you're not going to pull out. There might be some ballistic babies out there. Is all I'm saying.
I see
There's a
what
few
you're saying.
ballistic. There's a few ballistic babies.
You're
Yeah.
saying they got horny because they saw the thing.
Of course. And
start- okay.
why would you pull out if you think you're going to die? Like,
Right.
There's really no point.
No, you
That's right.
stay in there.
Very true. So that must have sucked. You think you're going to die, then you imagine the joy they must have felt when they weren't going to be blown up, and it was all just a fuck up. But this next story involves a mass text, but this time the anguish and the joy are reversed. Okay, so
Oh no, that's
Yeah.
worse.
Euro
That's
jackpot.
way worse.
Okay, it's like one of Europe's versions of Mega Millions. Okay, several countries play it. mostly Scandinavian, like Estonia, Lithuania, Netherlands, Slovakia, Poland, Norway. But the jackpots get up there. They start at 10 million euros when the jackpot resets after someone wins. And they've gone up to over 100 million euros, right? And in Norway, there's a state-run gambling commission that I guess you can get alerts when you play this Euro jackpot on your phone that says, hey, you won, you got the mega ball or the Euro ball, you won $2, or hey, you won this much. And this last drawing a couple days ago, some reports are saying that 50,000 Norwegians were sent a message from the state-owned gambling company that they had won life-changing sums of money. Some of them were close to being millionaires. Okay,
Is it 50,000 people got this message?
that's what they won't disclose the exact amount, but 50,000 people were sent
Everyone,
a text I'll tell
everyone
you
that registered,
everyone that won in that particular drawing, no matter what amount, got a text message. So if you won $2, yeah. So
lawsuit is what it is.
So I'm gonna play you a video
for mental anguish.
What if you say you spent it already?
Well, listen to. I'm gonna play you a video of what happened to one guy. But imagine this: you're sitting there eating like canned fish in Norway, and you get this message that you've won $1 million.
Anchovies.
Lots of stuff. You throw that canned fish out the window, and you go get a real fish.
Take a bite out of like an apple.
Yeah, you take a bite out of a real fish.
You go get some walrus steaks.
That's right. Yeah. However,
You eat it with tusk chopsticks.
There was an error in the conversion. So Norway goes by the krone, okay? And 1 krone is equal to about 9 cents euro, or 10 American cents, right? And the conversion that this lottery commission did multiplied, instead of dividing it by 100 in order to get the correct amount, they multiplied it by 100. So people were thinking that they won 2.8 million krone, which would be, I don't know,
280,000.
Yeah, something like that. And instead they won, $2.08 or $28.
Wow.
Yeah.
They moved the decimal 2 spots.
So the guys that did win big thought they won enormous. And the guys who won pretty small thought they won very big.
Everyone was buying a car, basically. Everyone was buying a car or a mansion. Some
people that won like that were like those medium winners were like quitting their jobs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like
immediately.
Yeah, because like 200 to 20K or like
the guys that won like 20K, which is
20
nice,
to 200,
but does nothing for you in terms of your day to day. The guys that actually won 20K, thought they won like 2 million.
200.
Here's a video of a guy that was affected greatly by this misstep.
I was at work when I got a message that I won a large amount of money, and I went in and it was 3.9 million instead of 390 kroner.
Halvor called me like straight afterwards, and he was at work, and I just said, well, we just needed to take a break, breathe a little bit. And about 20 minutes later, it was through the news channel that we found out that it was a flaw.
Did I also read that you, Halvor, proposed on Friday night? That you proposed?
Oh,
to
yes. Now they had the money for the ring.
You were going to win the money.
No, I didn't do it like that, but I maybe I had opportunity to do it when I received the money.
Well, I suppose I should say congratulations on your impending engagement, but also, I mean, I'm guessing that you wouldn't have done that. You proposed preemptively, did you, on the basis that they'd given you the wrong information?
Whoa. What's up with that?
I feel
he
put it that
he
way.
said it when he got home from work, that his first thought was to not come at all and then wait over the weekend, go buy a ring, and then propose. Like, take me somewhere
look
and
at his
propose
face.
like
Right.
Paris or something.
Have you had an apology from the company?
Brutal.
Yeah, I got the text message this morning saying that it was a mistake and they apologized.
So did he propose or not? I was very confused.
No, he proposed because he thought he won.
He did because he thought he had the cash to
He
buy
thought he
the
won
ring.
$400,000 or something like that.
3.9 million. There was 1,000x. He won.
No,
That was
3.9
1,000x.
million
He
krone.
did 390.
Yeah.
He said he won 390 krone, and they
1,000x.
told him he had 3.9 million krones.
Yeah.
Right, which is 390,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that guy got put on blast by that reporter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The woman,
but why
the woman
the
had to
report-
step in and
reporters
be
are
like, he was going to propose no matter what.
He
Did
made
he
the story
sick.
about his proposal, not the thing.
Yeah.
I heard you proposed. What?
Yeah.
You definitely wouldn't have
Oh.
done that had you not got the message, right?
And he's like, that's what
Right?
that's what it boils down to now. And he's like, so yeah, you probably aren't getting engaged ever, huh?
He's like, no, now I'm stuck with, and I'm poor. Another
BBC.
woman,
Yikes.
another
Don't
woman
take an
thought she had
interview there.
won. She was in the middle of a renovation project, and she thought she had won 1.2 million kroner, or $119,000, and only ended up winning $19. Another person thought they won $125,000, ended up only winning $12.50.
Oh,
They owe these people some checks, man.
Well,
This
so
is-
what happened is that this woman, the CEO of the Norse Tipping, which is the company, she resigned immediately. She put out a statement being like, sorry about making you think that your life had changed for the better, but I'm resigning. My bad.
yeah, that's
Okay,
one of those
that's
mistakes
fair.
that's so
That's
big
fair.
that you don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
She fell on the sword. That's
Yeah.
fair. Hey, everybody, then you call that a day. Yeah, you call that a day.
But get this, she's going to receive 6 months severance pay.
People got fucked though. Yeah. She
and-
gets money and they don't.
And she
yeah.
and she makes $370,000 a year.
She doesn't have to spend on healthcare.
So she's going to get rich off this whole thing.
She's not going to work another minute, and she
No.
gets 180,000.
Yep.
That's great for her.
Yep.
So many crones.
Oh shit, man. You guys want to hear about fundamentalist cults, or we can we can save
Sock
it
it
for
to
tomorrow?
No, like, let it go. These shows may go long, and that's because there's no show on Friday for the 4th. Happy 4th of July. So if these
Happy
go
4th
long,
of July. You're welcome.
just press pause, and then you can just kick it up tomorrow. Then there'll be another probably maybe long one. So we'll see.
There you go. Okay. More shitty news for Idaho. Okay. I'm going to ask you guys a question here. Put up a photo. Do these look like the type of teens that would run away to get back to a fundamentalist cult?
Yeah,
Kinda,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, they kind of
yeah,
do, right?
yeah. Especially the
Never
what's up
left,
with the
right?
what's up with the glare from the girl.
She's got cult eyes, bud.
Yeah, that's you could say
Who
that.
took her away from the cult? That was a mistake.
We're going to get into that. So, an Amber Alert was issued on Monday for Alan Lorand Fisher and Rachel Lorray Fisher. They're 13 and 15, respectively. The boy is 13. The girl is 15. Alan and Rachel were reported missing by their mother on Sunday, the 22nd, after she got back from Bible class and didn't see her kids. She's like, where are my kids? I don't know. And I guess she was a part of the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, which is the polygamous sect of Mormons run by Warren Jeffs, right? The self-proclaimed prophet and convicted pedophile. Here's Warren Jeffs with one of his child brides.
Oh,
Here's Warren Jeffs
Whoa.
with a lot of his child brides. Look at all those
Whoa.
child brides.
Dude, his dad, is he the son?
Yeah.
He's the son of
Yeah.
Warren Jeffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a great documentary about
Yeah.
this.
He took that mantle and ran with it.
He ran with it. Absolutely. So I guess this woman was part of the cult and she left, or she was exiled to get out of here. But her kids were there and she was able to get her kids back not too long ago, like 18 months ago. And she's been living with them in their hometown of Montview, Idaho, ever since. The public information officer from Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, Jennifer Fulmer, said, quote, their mother was previously an FLDS member. She was exiled and had to leave the children there. And when she finally got custody of them, she brought them back to her hometown of Mountview. We believe that her children wanted to go back to the FLDS lifestyle. But the mother, Elizabeth Roundy, here's a picture of Elizabeth, if I can find her. There she is right there. And her two kids. The mother, Elizabeth Roundy, is saying different.
Yeah, she got exiled.
She's saying,
Oh, man.
she's saying, quote, my children asked if they could go down to the shop to get on the internet. I guess they don't have internet at the house. So they could watch videos while I went to Bible study, and I allowed them to do it. And that wasn't very smart of me. I let them go down there. When I came back to get them, they were gone. Somebody came by the shop and hauled off with them. So the mother's saying they were kidnapped. The sheriff's office is saying, oh, these kids wanted it. They said they were asking for it, the sheriff's office is saying. Jennifer Fulmer from the sheriff's office continued saying, what the information we got was about this revelation that the children are supposed to gather to assist in the building of Zion. so they can die and become pure and translated beings. And also that they want to be child brides to fucking weirdos, she said.
After Jeffs bangs them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Jeffs was getting them at like
that's
9,
the key to get to heaven. You gotta
9
bang
and 10.
Jeffs.
When Warren Jeffs took over, because he had some brothers that were competing for it too, but Warren, who was a nerd, figured it out and he took over from the dad.
Well, didn't he con them on his deathbed?
Yeah, he like screwed over his brothers, and then he like started taking his brothers' wives and his best friends that he grew up with, like wives, and moving them in with him, and they were his wives now. And then he was like taking their daughters and marrying like his best friend's daughters that he grew up with, like and hung out with. He did a 180 and just absolutely like Kim Jong-un and his dad type thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
They, I guess the older sister.
Yeah.
The older sister, Alondra D. Fisher, she was reported missing back in January, and according to the sheriff's office, quote, she actually took the vehicle and left it somewhere along the route, got another ride somewhere or by somebody, and left her mom a note saying she was going back to the FLDS and she would pay for gas. But that older daughter's 18.
Well, that makes sense. How the fuck can you not, like, you that's kidnapping if you say they made her leave her kids who are under 18 there. Like, but like that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like,
to your point,
I'll take my kids, thanks.
To your point, Wes, they used whatever she did as an excuse to get rid of her because she basically aged out. And
well, yeah, I know she got exiled. I know.
I thought they tried to arrest Warren Jeffs.
Oh, he's in jail. He's been in jail for 10 years. Okay?
Yeah, but somebody took over. There's a new head penis, right?
Warren is still running the show, guys. He's still running the show. In fact, back in 2022,
he has a vicarious dick that's out there doing his work for him at this point.
Well, his dick's been locked up after his dick was locked up for about a decade. He said to himself, "I'm not getting any child poon in here, so I'm going to issue this decree." And this is what he said. He told his followers in 2022 from jail to quote consecrate and return their children to the church by any means necessary and prepare them for the end times. Children are supposed to assist in the building of Zion so they can die and become pure and translated beings.
Right. Yeah,
of course. Yeah. That was after he was convicted of child sex assault related to
He gave the backup dicks their clear instructions. Yeah. And so now.
Well, he's the type of guy, I don't think he wants anyone but his dick involved, so I'm sure
but he can't over, but they can't.
Shot. No, I know, but they don't want to let him
spreading it around a little bit from that documentary. If you were up there, he was spreading that.
I remember him being the opposite, a jealous guy that like abandoned all of his friends and brothers.
But he had to keep the men there somehow. So
and he kept them under his thumb while he banged their wives and daughters.
They got
the runoff tail, but he took all of the others. Like
Yeah, well, he's Jeff's. He gets the pick.
Right. Like when he was asleep, maybe they could, but yeah.
Well, that's a disgusting situation.
Back to the sheriff's office woman. I feel like this woman's trolling. Okay, she continues against the mother saying the kids were kidnapped. The sheriff's office woman is just really hammering at home that these kids wanted it. She says, "quote We don't have any concept of when or how quickly children should be gathered and brought back to the church so they can become pure beings after dying." But the mother is saying, I guess they were probably lingering around waiting for a chance to grab the children. I've seen vehicles driving past my place, going up and down roads, even past the shop, and the kids got picked up at just barely on Friday. So, like, I guess the shop that they were hanging out.
So she had seen all this and still decided to leave them unattended
she's
at
an
a
idiot.
public store.
No, but isn't there like a group of people that rescues these type of people?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're talking about here?
No. These kids are back at the.
They went back at the
cult.
Back at the cult.
They were kidnapped back to the cult.
They're back at the
They're
cult.
kidnapped back to the cult.
The sheriff's office thinks that they wanted it, and the mother's like, "No, my kids were taken."
Sheriff's saying, "I don't want to investigate this."
Yeah, Mark. The same way they have the people that come rescue, like they're in contact.
They have the cult come.
They have the cult come and steal. Yeah.
Of course.
Well,
goes both ways. Yeah.
They need to be pure.
Jeff's
beings.
So they were playing PlayStation, and then they got taken back.
They're watching videos. Yeah.
Watching videos. Yeah. They had a cell phone.
Yes.
Anyway, the sheriff's office does not seem to be concerned about solving this. So we'll see what happens.
They're used to the Jeffs.
So that's the show. I'd check the compound. That's just me. That's what I would do. That's just me. But what do I know? Anyway,
good odds.
Get out there and have a great fucking day.
The cream of the crop.